Starting with you, Isha, which three drivers do you think will be on the Mercedes shortlist tomorrow morning?
Well, this is definitely probably the hardest question that we've done today. But one of the drivers I would have said had you asked me a few hours earlier would have been Carlos Sainz right away. However, considering that it has been quite a few hours since the announcement was made that Hamilton's going to Ferrari and nothing has been said about who's taking that spot, I don't think it's going to be Carlos Sainz. I don't think he has any chance of taking that seat because that's something that they would have announced earlier on in the day. The second driver that I would think of would be Alex Albon. Kobe, you just mentioned him, but he's very young and very talented. And I think that he has a very good shot of taking Hamilton's seat. And the third driver I was thinking about, I don't think Josh is going to like this answer, but Daniel Ricciardo. I think Josh definitely wants to see him over at Red Bull, but honestly, I feel like Daniel Ricciardo could do pretty well in that Mercedes next to George Russell. I think that it's something that would be really interesting to see. And out of the three that I mentioned, I think that's the one that I would be looking forward to the most.
I like that bet. I do like that. Put Ricardo in there. I didn't even think about him. Out of contract again at the end of this year because he's only on a single year, isn't he? So, yeah, that could be fun. I'll keep that in mind. That's a good call. That could be fun. But he's got that eye on that Red Bull with Perez. That's where it's going. Right. Do you want my... I'll give you two pretty much. I know Isha said Albon, so I'm trying to avoid it. So I'm going to say Ocon because he is part of Toto Wolff's development program. Kimi Antonelli is definitely going to be up there because he's so fast. And George Morgan, who was PSGL's F1 commentator, but also FRECA and GT World Open commentator, we were having a discussion with him about 2 years ago when we had a PSGL welcome sort of event. And we were talking. And he said that he got told that Toto just signed Kimi Antonelli to the Mercedes program and he will be in Mercedes very, very soon. And now that Hamilton's gone, 2026 around the corner. Yeah, 2025, maybe a bit early, but 26, yeah. So maybe Kimi Antonelli is a shout. Ready for my third one, which I think is more than likely, whether it's on a 1 year or a 2 year contract. If I was Toto Wolff right now, there's only one name that I would be thinking of and picking up that phone to dial: Sebastian Vettel. I think Vettel is a very big option to come back in, to have 2 more years in a top car that can win with a team around him that will support him. It'll be big 2 years, the big goodbye. And if you can be world champion again, you can be world champion for a 5th time. I have got this very weird feeling that Sebastian Vettel might just be the first option to be in that car. And I've just got it to work.
I don't see Vettel pulling a Schumacher and coming out of retirement after a couple of years away. Or I see him more as his longtime Red Bull teammate Mark Webber. You're going to ride off into the sunset and then just be done and never even consider coming back. And I'm not to say Toto might not give him a call, but I would love to see Vettel back in a race seat like that. But I just don't think that's necessarily going to be in the cards here. It's tough because there's more than 3 that I want to say. Selfishly, Nico Hulkenberg is still looking for that podium. I think Mercedes could get him that, but I don't think that's necessarily the most realistic option here. I know we talked about Mick Schumacher a little bit earlier on the show. I think he would maybe be my number 1 shortlist pick just because of the relationship that his family has had with Mercedes for a long time, but now Mick in particular as well. I'm just trying to think. There's so many different names you could list off here. I guess Fernando Alonso has to be up there as well. I know I made the joke in our group chat that Mercedes should promote this junior driver from their customer team who seems to show a lot of potential and a lot of talent. But, again, Alonso's going to be pushing 45 when that time comes around. I don't know how many more years he has left, but he seems to have defied the odds and beaten Father Time so far with how strong he looked with Aston Martin at the start of the year. So he was probably going to be on your short list. And then one name that Karun Shandok actually threw out that has as recently as an hour or so before we went on the air, been posting some cryptic memes on Instagram. I don't know if he still has his number on speed dial, but I would keep an eye on Valtteri Bottas. Crazier things have happened. I think there might still be a relationship there. He knows the team very well. And I know he's not a superstar of Formula One, but he's good enough to win you a couple races here or there. I think if they wanted to give George Russell priority and be the number one driver, try to make him a world champion. There's not going to be a better number two driver on the market than Valtteri Bottas. I think he's a one to keep an eye on potentially as well.
Do you remember Shakir? They literally they knocked 7 bells out of each other.
It was one race, Josh. That's the smallest possible sample size.
In one race, we had Bottas take pole with Russell alongside. They barged into each other at turn 1. Russell got the lead and scampered off into the distance.
We're talking about one race. That's a one race sample size, Josh.
All right. How about just 3 races later when Russell kamikazed into the side of him and punched him in the face at Imola? And saying, like, what is he doing and all that lot. If them two are teammates together, it is literally going to be just, I don't know, I can't explain it. It is going to be like watching the opening 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan on repeat. They would be knocking 10 bells out of each other every single lap.
Josh, that's going to be ancient history come 25. I mean, Kobe might appreciate this. This is basketball reference. Chris Paul is a Golden State Warrior. Did you ever think he and Draymond Green would be teammates? I mean, no. Crazy. I mean, this is the world of sports, right?
Never.
Things change very, very quickly. I think. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying he's on the short list.
I'd like it.
Look at him as an option, and I think if you're looking for somebody who's going to accept a number 2 driver role, I mean, maybe Checo Perez would be in that conversation as well. But I think after his Red Bull stint, he might just want to ride off into the sunset as well. I don't know, but he wants to go do that at Mercedes again and play second fiddle to George Russell. But give Valtteri a call, see what happens.
My brain's melting about the fact that you're seriously saying that Valtteri is going to accept being number 2 to the driver who replaced him at the team, who literally kicked him out of Mercedes. If that happens, then Formula One is just mad. I want that to happen now.
I'm not saying he'd be happy about it. I'm just saying. I'm saying I think he would accept it, and I think it would lead to. I mean. Would you rather be at Mercedes right now or stake F1 team kick Sauber, whatever the heck?
I'd rather be at Sauber with an option to stick around, play the long game, and be at Audi alongside Sainz. That's a good lineup.
I disagree with that. I'd rather be at a top team and maybe be able to sneak a win out once or twice a year.
But do Mercedes want a driver who can win once or twice a year, or do they want a driver who can win the World Championships? Valtteri couldn't do that. I mean. I don't know. I know what you mean about number 1 driver. But I think right now they've had that problem where it worked when Hamilton had Bottas because Hamilton was the champion. It worked together. Every time they put 2 equally good drivers against each other, it never works. Hamilton and Rosberg, it kept disintegrating. There's a reason Hamilton says Bottas is his best teammate. I know what you mean, but it's like I don't see these two working together. Because they keep locking horns. But at the same time, I'm remembering how exciting that Shakir race was. I really want to see them as teammates.
That's my point, Josh, that I'm trying to make. But when Mercedes have 2 drivers that are competing against, I mean, Hamilton and Rosberg were childhood karting friends, and then they get into the Mercedes together, and they build the team up in 2013, and then 14 through 16, they're fighting it's a 2-car world championship battle, and it ruined their relationship, and it was actually quite sad to see. I don't know, but it quite got as heated as a center and Prost thing. We having the cap thrown and everything. I think they certainly weren't on each other's Christmas card lists, and I hope that it didn't completely permanently damage
it's fine now.
Their relationship that they have. But I think that when you look at Bottas coming in after Rosberg retired, he clearly was never going to beat Lewis over the course of a full season. I don't know that he would do the same for George Russell. They might not get on quite as well, but I think for Mercedes' sake, you're not going to have those two going up against each other for a world championship. George Russell's clearly going to be the number 1. I don't know. I'm just saying he's on the short list to me. That's all I'm saying here.
Yeah, I agree. I think each is was more going to happen though than Valtteri coming back. Although I've said Vettel. We've all had wild picks. I like it. I love this show. I love it.
Yeah, 2 straight nights in a row doing a marathon show. Last night was Andretti been denied Formula One. Tonight is Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes for Ferrari. So 2 nights in a row where we've been very busy here at Grid Network. And that was a very intriguing discussion between you, Josh, and Ben. brought up some interesting points there. And Hunter says that Valtteri is a pretty chill guy, just very, very practical. And he also says Ben is right, Bottas supremacy. And he said he only punched Bottas because he wanted his seat. Yeah, and Josh, I actually forgot about what happened at Imola until you mentioned. I had to dust off the cobwebs, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember they came together, and then that did happen. When you said he punched him in the face, I'm like, wait, I don't remember that. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that now. And Ed says that Vettel is kind of doing the Nico Rosberg approach, quick, break the cold turkey, focus on the family environment, good for him. And
no, is that real? Also, sport. No.
And Ben is showing something on the screen. Which, go full screen there.
Valtteri Bottas at Brackley. No. Is he toying with us?
I'm just saying.
Well,
it could be nothing, could be something. We'll see.
Yeah, it could be Valtteri, just trolling us all. Because we've seen Valtteri troll people in the past, so it would not surprise me if he's just trolling. But who knows? We've seen stranger things happen.
Well, this was the tweet that I referenced that he sent out about 40 minutes before we went on the air here. So, I mean,
I'm just trying to find out where he is.
Look, I know he's a character on social media, but maybe there's nothing there. Maybe he's just having fun. Maybe he's teasing us with
the date. Yeah. That was the 31st of January. And who's he tagged in it? Paul Southgate. Oh.
Yeah, very high tech.
Maybe he's just playing with us.
I've just remembered. Lewis only told Toto last night, which was the 31st of January or whatever it was. And oh my god, we heard rumors that there's a driver there tomorrow. If Valtteri's already been in and signed it, oh my no. Oh right, get ready to another grid tomorrow.
I don't know if I could do 3 days in a row, Josh. And tonight's show's been a lot longer than last night's, and I was beat after last night's show.
You should call Jackson. We'll do after tonight.
Well, Josh, in complete fairness to you, with the debate that we just had, I don't think I would have put Valtteri on the list if I hadn't seen those posts before we came out of the air. But
okay, I was thinking about him.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?